Hey, what's going on, my dropouts? We are here. What's this? Second episode?
Second episode, season two.
Season
Jesus
two.
Christ.
Season 12. Eh?
Welcome
Dose.
to
And
season 2,
Okay.
episode 2. Was that so difficult?
No. It was,
Listen, that's your style. My style is just
Fuck everything up?
yeah, that's me.
that's the proper style, man.
Yeah, that is proper style. And by the way, we're also matching. Just want you to know that.
Man, shut the... I'm about to take this shit off.
No. We don't want to see what's underneath that. Listen,
Please do our viewers a favor.
Listen.
Spare us the horror flick.
the horror fuck.
Listen, speaking of horror flicks, let me talk to you guys about the NFL. That's a good segue. We're gonna
So something about the Cowboys, right? They recruited a new coach.
Yes. Well, them too. So the Cowboys fired their old coach. So a couple of things have been going on. Like this past Monday is known as what's called Black Monday because
Wait. Why is it called Black Monday?
well, normally when someone says because they're about to
No.
explain what they just said, which is what I was gonna do.
Why is it not White Monday?
Because this is
Or brown.
America and
Or brown.
we're built on racism. So it's called Black Monday because it's the first Monday when the playoffs start, and then the teams that don't make the playoffs normally fire their coaches, like the ones that are trying to move on.
What?
Yeah, like the ones that are trying to move on, right? Like not all of them obviously get fired, but like at least 4 or 5 coaches a year get fired. So the Cowboys were one of the teams. The Giants were one of them. The Cleveland Browns. Who else? The Bengals and the Panthers. So there was a lot. So there's I think a total of 6 coaches that got fired.
Are those, can head coaches be fired?
It's head coaches.
Yeah, it's head coaches.
It's head
so it's
coaches.
like
Not
the
like-
main coach.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I thought it was like below
that
him.
Is so fucked.
Yeah.
Why is it? It's just like that.
Yeah, a lot of times they let them finish the season. You don't want to, do it like in the middle of the season. You want to do it like right at the end, and then you have a whole off season to recruit. Sometimes they do it in the middle of the season if it's really bad. Doesn't happen often. It's more common in the NBA than it is.
So how do they get fired? Like, did they get fired from the owner or?
It's normally the GM
higher-ups?
and the owner,
Okay.
the general manager and the owner come to an agreement, and they're like, hey, moving forward, you're not going to be the coach of our organization anymore. We wish you the best of luck. It's awarded a lot of different ways. So, like, the Cowboys awarded it, like, they tried to be super respectful about it. They awarded it, Jason Garrett will not be a part of our organization moving forward. The Cleveland Browns were like, we have fired Freddie Kitchens.
Damn.
It's like there's different ways organizations handle it in different ways. The funny thing was, there was rumors that the Cowboys, when they fired their head coach, like, he wouldn't leave the premises. Like, he was just like, when like someone's like, hey, you're fired, and then you're like, nah, and you just stick around.
Yeah.
No, you don't know that because nobody does that shit. But apparently he did that shit. So he was like hanging around the facilities, like not like you leaving. He's like, no, listen, don't fire me yet. Like, hear me out. I need another season.
Like they're dragging him out the door. It's like, but listen.
Eventually he left because
Can't blame him.
I mean, I don't know, man. You can because he was a horrible coach.
Oh, he was.
What made him so
He
bad?
wasted like 8-9 years over there. They barely ever made the playoffs, and when they did make the playoffs, they always lose in like the first game, and he wasn't a finisher. He couldn't really finish games. Didn't really, it was just all mediocre seasons.
So, okay, because I know it's a team sport, right? So you'd say a good coach plays a very important role in leading for a team success.
Yeah, absolutely. The coach that they got now,
Right.
is the coach that the Packers won the Super Bowl with, Aaron Rodgers' first coach in the NFL. He used to be the coach of the Packers. Okay, this was the first season that he didn't have a job ever since he got let go by the Packers. So now they hired the Packers former head coach Mike McCarthy, who's a really good coach and really good at building teams and consistently taking them to the playoffs. So they're moving in the right direction. But then there's some teams where they're hiring people that like nobody knew about. So basically, like, everybody wants to make predictions on who's going to get what job and, who the top candidates are. And everybody is like, oh, Josh McDaniels, which is the offensive coordinator of the Patriots. He's won, like, 3 Super Bowl rings with them. The offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, he's had some of the best running backs under him. some of the best offenses of all time under him. Those were the front runners. Everybody was like, these are the people that are going to get the jobs and blah, blah, blah. What ended up happening is some random guy that nobody even knew was interviewing for head coach jobs named Joe Judge. He's a special teams coach for the Patriots and a wide receiver coach for the Patriots. He was never offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, nothing. He got hired by the Giants.
So you're telling me I could have applied?
You could have applied. Hey. You were probably just as qualified as that guy. It's wild shit.
Hey, that's what's up, man. I would have came up with some crazy ass plays.
And then some guy from college. His last name is Rule. It's spelled Rhule. He's done some good work. He turned around the Temple program and then he turned around Baylor program. But he turned around programs that were only bad for like a year. This man got offered a job by the Panthers that gave him everything he wanted, like the personnel, the extra stuff. Like he's building like a whole statistic division within the organization.
Oh, okay.
Where all they're gonna do is focus on that and just like computer stuff. They are giving this man a 6-year, $70 million deal.
What?
A college football coach that's never coached in the NFL ever.
Yo, hey, I feel like we got a really.
He must have been really confident though. Like he must have been. That
interview, I would be surprised if there was no dick sucking in that interview because that is the only way. If I'm a GM, that is the only way I am ever paying a football coach from college that has no NFL experience and a 6-year contract with that much money. Like that's insane. That's unheard of.
You know what I pictured just right now? The Key and Peele skit when the interviewer is having a great time. You remember seeing that?
Which one?
Key and Peele way they're having so basically they were not trying to be the guy was going for the interview.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the one that was in the interview was just having a blast with the owner.
I seen this one.
Was just having a good time, and they're like, I don't want to be after that guy, and they're just cracking
I
jokes.
remember this now.
That's what it reminded me of. Like,
yeah,
they're just having a good time in there, and they're making these dumb jokes, and they're like laughing.
And then the other guy comes in.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's what it reminded me.
That's man. It honestly, it would have. It probably went really well because. It's just kind of crazy to me, where somebody like that gets offered that job. But right now the NFL, it's a whole shakeup. So like the last 6 weeks of the NFL is really crazy because you have the last week of regular season, then the playoffs start, and then coaches get fired and hired. Like there's a lot of change and turnover.
I didn't know GM was higher than the head coach. I thought the head coach was like talking directly underneath, right underneath the owner.
So normally there's like the owner of the organization. Then there's like the CEO, CFO, right?
Okay.
Of the team, right? So they have the executives. And then the executives and the owner and the head coach also, right? What they try to do is they try to talk and hire a general manager. So the GM is the one who's going to, be in charge of the drafting.
Anything below
player contracts, all that stuff, anything.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
The head coach and the GM have very similar responsibilities in the sense that the GM does more of the management of the organization and the head coach does more of the management of the actual players and the games and the game plans and the strategy. Right. A perfect example is the Niners right now. They fired their GM. That was there previously. They brought in a brand new head coach and they brought in a brand new GM, and the head coach and the GM actually met with each other and they made sure that they were okay with it coming in. So John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan actually came in together to the organization, so they're on the same page about a lot of stuff like the draft and like what direction they want the team to go in.
Both.
All that stuff.
Definitely need
so
both.
They have to be able to work well together and work hand in hand because they're almost at the same level. But not quite.
But who is higher though? Head coach or is the GM?
Technically, the GM is higher.
Wow.
But there's times when the GM gets fired and the head coach stays on because the head coach is doing a good job, but the GM is holding him back.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man, it's a whole game of just firing, huh?
It's a lot of it's a very sports management is very very complicated and very complex, but. Yeah. A lot of people think that you just pick good players and that's
it. Yeah, but it's
not.
There's a lot that goes into, and it's not just football. Like I read an article a while ago about Real Madrid, right? Like their GM, They don't call it general manager, but they're basically the same role. What he did was he implemented like a whole division of scientists where all they did was study their own players, and they try to help them get better in nutrition and all these aspects. They studied their sleep. So what they would do is they'd make the players come and sleep at their facility, and then they would monitor their sleep, and they would coach them up on their sleep patterns.
You definitely need to go there.
I definitely need to go there.
Yeah.
I snore like a
sleep. You never heard of it.
I snore like a tugboat.
You wake up every 60 seconds.
Man, hey, speaking of sleep, I was listening to a podcast today about this guy. He's talking about like sleep patterns and actually what it does. So like when you miss like a certain amount of sleep, it starts tearing away at your health. Like, so say that one night you get 6 hours, right? The next day, like you're still messed up from that 6 hours, and if that night you also get another 6 hours, like you're slowly declining. Your health is slowly going down because you're not getting the optimal amount of sleep. So if every night you spent not getting the proper amount of sleep, say that you went 6, 5, 4, and like so each night you got less than that, like your health is going down. But even if you went 6, 6, like got 6 hours of sleep, and then one night you got 7 and 8, you're still low and your health is still going down because you still need to make up for the other hours. But then if you went like a few 8 hours in a row, then you start making up for the amount of sleep that you missed probably like a week ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you can catch back up on
You
sleep. Like
can't-
that
but
is a thing.
But you deteriorate faster than you recover.
I pictured like a health bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
No,
Like declining.
Like in Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
It is like a health bar. So your health deteriorates faster than it recovers, but you can recover it, which is the good part, right? But it's just not as fast. So when you miss like a large amount of sleep, you would need to make that up eventually. But if you're still fucking up and not recovering that sleep, you're gonna keep messing it up until you develop some type of disease that's like, oh hey,
Some type of sickness.
some type of disease that's like, oh hey, you're not getting enough sleep, so now you have diabetes, and you're like, oh great,
Diabetes.
fantastic.
Well, like I feel like if sleep was correlated with dick size, I definitely need more sleep because, like think about it. Right?
I have a surplus of sleep.
Exactly. Think about it.
Yeah.
Like a girl will be like, "You need some sleep."
If only it was that easy.
Yeah.
No, we're kind of like so.
You just losing inches.
But they're also
Centimeters.
saying that so some people
centimeters, that's
regularly sleep 8 hours, right? Like say that like they their usual week they'll get 8 hours of sleep and stuff. But what they made them do was like, instead of getting 8 hours of sleep, like a few days, they made that person get 9 hours of sleep, and their efficiency went up by 20%, like during their workday.
Wow.
So they were saying that the amount of sleep that you need is dictated person by person, right? But in most cases, when people get more sleep, it's better for them and it's better for your health, like overall. So so if you get 8 hours and more, especially for guys, it's better too. So every hour that you spend getting extra amount of sleep, continuously, not breaking up and not like waking up and going back to sleep, like continuous sleep. Anything more than 8 hours, your testosterone level goes up like a 20%.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah. Like for guys, that's fantastic. Like so like for like losing fat and gaining muscle and all that stuff. So I was like, man, like super. Hey, shut the fuck.
Fucking shit, bro.
God damn.
You know we're in the middle of a fucking podcast. God, take that shit outside.
Hey, keep it at home, huh?
You guys are fired. I'm the GM. Y'all done.
We're gonna have some personnel changes.
Yeah. No, but sleep is crazy, man. And also, so they were saying like as a kid, what happened was like we would expel a lot of energy. We'd be doing all these activities and stuff, and then we'd go to sleep and we'd wake up and when we still got energy for days, right? So what's happening is like when we actually get in that rest, we're building HGH, the human growth hormone, right? And that is actually what's giving us the recovery. That's what's actually healing all our insides, all our tissues and everything, all the energy that we need, right? So, but as we get older and then like the more amount of sleep that we miss, the less amount of human growth hormone we make, and it goes in reverse order. So actually, we recover less, and we start aging faster.
So if I sleep a lot, will I grow taller?
No, but you'll be healthier.
It's not worth it.
What do they say about naps though?
All I know is that you shouldn't nap more than 20 minutes.
They were saying that you don't need naps if you get
Good sleep.
Yeah,
Because sometimes I get like 8 hours of sleep and I still take naps.
that means you need more sleep
Damn.
Yeah.
at night. Because
More than 8 hours, huh?
yeah,
First of all, you
like,
don't do
no,
shit, so why do you need so much sleep?
I think it's just the brain power.
That's okay.
It's divided 50-50. It also goes to my dick. So it's a lot of power.
I want to talk about. I want to talk about the biggest lies of this decade.
Okay.
Oh no,
We
no.
already have a. We already have a contender.
2020
We're-
contenders.
Hey.
7
No,
days into the year, into the decade, we have a contender.
Man, so I had a question.
I got an answer.
No, you don't. You definitely don't have it.
You don't got it.
You know, I think I was asking V. Like, when did drugs become cool? You know, like when did it become cool to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this thing, get my body all fucked up,
You ever talk about this?
and that makes me cool. No, I talked about it with you in a car, alone.
You know when
In
it
the
became
dark.
cool? I think when wait in the dark. Wait, what was this? Hold
In
up.
the dark.
Were the
while he
windows
was
foggy?
Giving me.
What were y'all doing in there, man?
Hey, listen,
Alright, look.
it's a good workout.
I
session.
think it became cool when this whole kind of like I feel like now with our generation, there's a mentality of like, you know, being more accepting towards like what other people want to do. So like before, back in the day, okay, like if someone wanted to do weed and cocaine and all that stuff, people would be like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like, you know,
I think it
we're
was
not
the
about that
opposite.
shit, right? No way.
like
Like
dude,
50s, 60s,
yeah,
70s?
What was the 70s? It was the drug era. Like,
Well, no, that's when people were
Freedom of
doing it, but they
expression.
were still looked down upon. I mean, you know, people were still like, oh, don't
No, like
associate with
hippies were
them.
looked down upon, weren't they?
Yeah, they were looked down upon. Like it
Okay,
wasn't like a
okay.
cool thing.
Yeah. I was
Like
joking about
in
hippies.
most of society, right? And then nowadays it's more about like, you know, oh, if someone wants to smoke weed, let them. If someone wants to, you know, it's their life, let them live it. It's becoming more and more of a to each his own mentality. And I think with that comes good things, right? Like you have less judgmental people looking at you and like making you feel bad about your lifestyle. But again, like there's always two sides. Now you also have the bad thing where it's like it's more socially acceptable that you do drugs and that you do all this stuff. I mean, I have had people like tell me like hella nonchalant, like, "Oh yeah, I've done ecstasy. Oh yeah, I've done coke," and I'm like,
Yeah, I just think people are curious, man.
You know?
Like curiosity is
Yeah,
what
and I
what
can see
leads
that.
a lot of people to doing drugs. But I also think that I always think like sometimes just people when they're doing drugs, for some reason, like people, the other people that are not doing drugs, they also want to taste it. So you know,
yeah, yeah.
there was
it's
also
the allure of it,
I think
right?
there's
Tiger
a lot
made
of
a song about that.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
It's called
aspects.
Taste.
Yeah. Oh,
Was
yeah,
it the
is.
lime? Put the lime in the coconut
Yeah.
and twist it all
No,
around.
but I definitely get it. Like you know, something that's like forbidden, like you're drawn more towards it because you're like, oh, why is it forbidden?
Right.
Right.
And if he's doing it, he's cool because he's going out of his way to doing it.
Yeah.
But I never thought like, well, when you're saying that you think people that are, when did drugs become cool? Like
Yeah, no,
you're
like-
saying it like,
Like, cause I'm thinking about a different perspective.
When-
Like, when did destroying your body become a like, you know, oh, that's dope. Like, like
No, I mean,
like,
Are you,
you know what I mean?
how does
it
that
is
work?
it is
Like,
cool amongst rappers.
no,
yeah,
It's
you
cool
know?
amongst
but,
like celebrities.
Just think about it. It literally doesn't make sense. You're putting substance into your body that's literally destroying your internals.
No,
like,
but
from the inside.
But I feel like drugs also bring another human being. Like if I'm on drugs, I'm a different person. Like if I was on cocaine, if I was doing cocaine, I'm gonna be a different person. I'm gonna be energetic. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that aspect also like, you know, I'm gonna be a different person. So they're like, oh, that guy is different. He's cool. And I like I'm gonna be more energetic. I'm gonna
Right.
be doing certain things. So I think it also brings another part of you out there. Like, you know, people do drugs to be creative, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like that also makes him cool because here I am competing against you, and I gotta write a song. You gotta write a song, but now you're on drugs. I'm like, damn, that dude.
Like,
Damn,
tearing
he's
it up,
tearing it
yeah.
up, you know.
Like, oh,
So I think
shit.
it also brings another part of it brings a different view.
But then there's also, I mean, I don't know, man. There's like,
But like, how far do you take that? You know?
No, we take it as
because
far-
like, I mean, like, look at, you know, your favorite rapper, Lil Wayne. You know, like he's been hospitalized how many times because of his cough syrup, right? Thing, like the
That's insane,
like
yeah.
the codeine thing.
Yeah.
He's been hospitalized. Like they've literally told him, like, yo, you cannot have another cup. You know what I mean? Like that's how far he's
Guess what he
taking
did?
it. But then he
had, like, he had two cups.
He had several cups.
Several cups, right?
In the hospital in front of the doctor.
yeah, in front of the doctor, flipping him up.
But then there's rappers who don't like doesn't like Sage the Gemini doesn't drink, smoke, or anything.
Literally, Adi
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
drink, smoke. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it also can be cooler people just doing drugs too.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why therefore they're cool.
Yeah.
But then again, there's
and then like the number one artist in the world, shout out Drake. He doesn't do any of that stuff,
No,
right?
he drinks.
He drinks, but
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
doesn't
but, yeah.
He also doesn't
yeah.
glorify it. There's artists
Yeah.
that glorify
That's
it.
true.
because
He
they don't have
also
anything to
doesn't
talk
glorify
about.
it, you know?
Yeah, and one thing in his interview that he was saying was like, he's like, yeah, you know what, like, what got me was like, because he was saying like people that get addicted to drug, like it kind of leaves like a shell of them eventually, right? Like when they're addicted to it, like to so much to the point where their identity becomes the drug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, so when they stop doing the drug, it's just a shell of them. It's like that person's no longer there. And one thing that he was saying was like, you know, like out of these 10 years, like even though I've been in that like celebrity life, you know, the rap life where you're surrounded by drugs and alcohol, he's like I'm still me, you know,
Yeah.
like I never changed.
Well,
I have a lot of
just had
respect for those people.
I just had a problem with that statement because I feel like that's subjective. Where it's like, when did being drugs become cool? Like I feel like some people, like I said, like some rappers don't really do drugs.
Yeah.
And so like they bring that own flavor, and then you hear that like, wait, you don't smoke or drink or anything, and then you start thinking like, not much respect.
I think it's just become more socially acceptable.
Socially acceptable. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that would be better.
Like before, like back in the day, I think that like if you did do, you know, if you did smoke weed or do cocaine and all that stuff, you were more of like a pariah. But now, like
Okay.
people will still associate with you even if you do all
Yeah.
that stuff, you know.
yeah.
But
And I don't judge them
it is
for-
more prevalent in music and movies and TV shows and all that stuff.
And being
it is,
rich.
It is more.
But you know
more
what's funny?
prevalent.
The people that actually like, you know, glorify to put out there, a lot of them don't even do it. They just do it for the music because they know it's popular. You know.
Yeah, because they know people eat
Like,
it up.
Yeah, people eat it
Media,
up. You know?
social
Yeah,
media,
honestly,
movies.
like if you heard the shit that I listen to while I'm driving, you would think that I have a trap house, but I don't. You know.
yeah. Some
But
people's
I just-
workout
I just-
album. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, man. Just something about that trap life, you know, gets me
Yeah.
motivated. You know.
Nah, man, like
Future
Wish I
is your
had some.
favorite. Yeah,
wish I
Future
had
is your
some
favorite.
trap
Yeah,
hoes
okay.
though. Hey, shout out anybody if y'all want to be my trap hoe, hit me up, man. Three
just casual.
dropouts, baby. What's up?
Yeah,
Big booty
don't know,
hoes
man.
only.
I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, like that's like a thing, you know? It's like, oh, the more drugs you do, people perceive you as being cooler.
Yeah,
In a sense, right?
and you know, I mean,
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't really feel that. That's why, like, if you did hella drugs, I'm like, that's what's up.
Yeah, no, but like, no, what I'm saying is because like I've seen people that done hella drugs and like, you know, they get I don't want to say, I guess they get a lot of favoritism. They're like, oh man, you must be.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Like they get a lot of favoritism, but then like I've seen people that are like legit drug addicts, and that shit is not glorious, fam.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's when the curiosity comes in. My roommate, when he started talking about doing drugs, and he did all types of drugs, I was like, what? How did it feel? Like, which one? And I had all these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Which one did you have the worst trip on? Which one did you have the best trip? Blah, blah. See, now I'm like, because of my curiosity that I'm going after and putting him at a higher pedestal, that's where I feel like comes in the cool aspect of it. It's because we're putting in, because I'm curious of how does it feel.
No, for me,
when you're doing it, it's nothing really.
It's like it's interesting to know what it is, but like that's as far as it goes for me. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like that's what it's like, you know. Like secondhand experience, like for me, I'm like, oh, that's good enough. Then like
Right.
actual firsthand.
You've
right?
experienced, obviously, we've all experienced it, but then at one point, you're just like, oh, I want to try it
experience what?
once or try it.
Yeah,
twice.
but like,
drugs. I haven't experienced
But there's
drugs.
Yeah,
people
that's
that
a
you
lot.
know, like that I've talked to where like if you don't do something, they don't even mess with you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've ran into people like that. I'm like, oh, that's. Okay.
I mean, okay. If people smoke weed, it doesn't really bother me.
Nah, that one doesn't bother
But
me. It used to.
like other stuff, like if I know that they do like, you know, like hardcore drugs, then it like, I naturally just don't want to associate myself with that, because I know that you give up a certain amount of control over your actions when you do that. You give up a certain amount of control when you smoke weed as well. But I don't know. I don't know if it's because of society or what it is. It's that I am less okay with hardcore drugs than I am with being around someone who smokes weed or just drinks alcohol.
Yeah. And a lot of young people, too. Like, I always see, like, you know, I think sometimes I think it could be a no-go if you tell them, like, oh, I don't smoke.
Yeah,
Right?
I felt that
I've
too.
seen that, like,
I
on,
felt
like,
that too.
I feel like I've seen that on like Tinder or something. Like you know how like 420.
Yeah.
You know, one of our closest friends smoke weed all day, so I'm sure like if he met a
This
girl,
Mexican, Jair Gutierrez.
no, his brother,
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Gogeta,
yeah.
1990, yeah.
Not El Chupacabra. Huh?
Nah.
Shout out.
but he smokes weed all day. But think about it, if he'll be more attracted to a girl that smokes weed all day, you know,
Yeah.
so.
yeah, I guess it'd be easier for the lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because imagine
that
like
makes
girls
sense.
he likes and she's just like, I don't smoke weed.
I don't know, man.
He's
Just
like,
like my thing is, I feel like you are less productive when you do smoke. I know that people say like, oh, you know, you get hella shit done when you're on when you like do crack or something. But most of the time, that shit is, I don't know, stealing people's radios out of their cars. So
Siphoning gas.
Yeah,
off,
it is, yeah.
So, I guess they say like when you do meth, you are more productive, but you also don't sleep. That's why they call you meth heads.
It's bad.
Meth
It's
heads.
bad. Yeah, yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of
Yeah, never fight a crackhead. I've heard.
never fight a crackhead.
Yeah,
Speaking
they'll
of crack,
fight you all night.
speaking of crackhead, let me get a shout out to Ready or Hot. Also,
Ready hot, baby.
I,
Yeah.
I get a shout out because I never get a shout out.
Hey, ready? Tell your therapist I said what's up.
And then also pizza guys.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
pizza guys
hey,
in
shout out Rocket
Rockland.
Pizza Guys.
Please go on Yelp and leave them 1-star reviews.
One star.
Yo, their pizzas are lit. If
Tell
you
them I
don't
sent
order.
you, which no one will ever
Yeah.
even write that down.
I'm surprised they let a man with that much body hair prepare food.
My boy got the whole hairnet. He's just got the body.
He wears a
hat.
bodysuit. He wears a
Body hat.
hazmat suit.
While making pizzas, like what's going on, sir? It's
What's
like,
up? What are you doing? Oh
funny.
shit. That's hella funny. Yeah, I mean, hey man, I kind of I don't really miss that guy. Ready?
We're doing a whole segment about it right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, speaking of Ready,
He's all right.
did you guys hear about the missiles?
Oh, what a segue.
Missiles being
hey man,
Ready is, for those of you listeners who do not know, he's Middle Eastern. And my boy just segued into
what's up?
La missiles.
yo, that was good.
American, actually. What's up?
America, Ready, tell your cousins to back the fuck off. Alright? They don't want the smoke.
But anyway, Iran shot their cruise missile.
Iran. Where are you running to?
Iran.
It's Iran.
Iran.
Okay, I didn't know we were getting technical
Yeah,
here.
we
Iran.
are, bitch.
Iran.
Hey.
Go ahead.
No, wait for y'all.
What'd they shoot?
I think they shot cruise missiles.
Okay.
Ballistics,
All
maybe.
right. First of all, Krez missiles.
Cruise, missile.
It's late.
And,
Cruise missiles.
yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's getting a little serious.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
little?
It's getting a little serious. Hey,
That's like me pulling out a gun and shooting near your feet.
Nah, man.
no,
okay.
but people are not taking it that seriously, obviously, because of the memes, right?
Yeah.
They're still memeing. They still memeing.
They're gonna meme harder now.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know.
They're
It's a
probably gonna
reality.
do like when
Those
you
are
shoot your
reality.
shot and you miss. Because Iran shot its shot for sure,
Shot
but
its
I
shot.
don't know. I still stand by my statement of I don't think there's gonna be a World War III because they would get annihilated, bro. Like,
No,
it
and
really
that's not
would.
my point. What I was tripping about is how like when 9/11 happened, the whole Americans basically were like, "Hey, we're with you, President.
Yeah,
Let's get them."
gullible ass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's what's happening with Iran right now. I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised. I thought it was just the leaders. The military leaders were like, "Oh, we can get you back,"
right.
But they were like, "Bull, maybe next year." But
Chill. After the election.
yeah. How many carriers you have? B-52s.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
but what I'm saying is even the civilians were really pushing for it.
But you know what's
Forward to
crazy? So someone put me on this public enemy code. It was saying that I was like, oh yeah, if they try to fire me, I would start a war, right? So people were saying just because he was getting impeached, he decided to threaten them with war to stay in power while he was getting impeached. So
That's a
they
normal
won't forget
thing.
about it.
Well, I
It's
mean,
for sure a political move.
it's a political move, and that's what he was saying with Obama too.
Yeah.
Trump was saying that to Obama, and now he's doing it.
Yeah.
So
I guess it works.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, of course, yeah.
you gotta know, like, it's I mean, like your average American, most Americans, right? Average American, they don't dig deeper. Like whatever
Yeah.
they see on the TV is what they see on the TV.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever they hear from their coworkers, that's it. Like they don't actually. Americans, I think, as a whole, you good? Oh, shit. All right. God damn. You sneezing all over the place, falling
all over the place
It's a
today. Sorry,
horrible
guys.
podcast for you. Most of them, you know, like they just take it at face value. But Americans, as like the average American, they're just kind of like they're mindless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just whatever they get fed, they just eat it all up, like literally and figuratively. Apparently.
And like whatever they see on the news, they take it for fact without ever like thinking otherwise.
Yeah.
And then so like the media used to control like a lot of people's thoughts because like they can just put out anything out there. It could be fact or fiction. They'll be like, oh, the president today took a shit in Dubai, and they're like, what?
Well, most
That's how
of
strong it
the
is,
most of the news channel. I mean, how many different news channels are there? Right, like hundreds.
Yeah.
Most of them all like when you look at how it's structured, it all goes back to the same like 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4 media companies at the top. You know, so I feel like as far as reporting goes and news and media these days, you have to be very, very careful, like how you navigate that world. And like what you see and like what you hear and all that stuff is very, yeah.
But like, what media out there is for the people? Think about it. Like,
What I've learned is to look at like who is funding that particular source,
which sucks.
So if there's like a public nonprofit organization that's not being funded by like any major donors, like they're getting their money, from like very transparent sources and things like that, like you can generally trust that source.
Right. But
Yeah.
then they usually don't last that long because it becomes like that industry where you have to kind of. You need the money.
Oh, money makes the
Money
world goes round,
runs the
man.
world, man.
Yeah, money.
what sucks.
Listen, money makes everything
Everyone's
go round.
bought out, man.
Yeah.
True, me too.
I'm sorry, yeah, me
that's
too.
true.
Hey,
I'm on
Pepsi!
board.
Shout out! Pepsi tastes better than Coca-Cola.
Hey,
You said
hell
that?
no, hell no, hell no. Hey, yo, Coke all the way, fam. You know what it is.
He's sponsored by Coke. I'm sponsored by Pepsi.
Well,
We sold out.
What kind of shit
Wow,
is
beat
that?
your
We sold
ass.
out. We'll have a turf war.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I got.
But yeah,
water.
I mean it's wild, man. I still think if World War III started tomorrow, if I was wrong, I would enlist, buddy. I'd just go.
Yeah, but what branch?
Hey, man,
though?
hey, I'll be rooting
What
for
branch?
you guys.
Cheer Force, man. What's
That's
up,
what
man?
I'm talking about.
The
I'll see-
technology branch.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
want the one with the toys.
I'll be back home cheering for you guys, fam.
Second largest
National Guard over here.
That
He's gonna be the Peace Corps.
No,
Come on, guys, break it up.
I'm going to the top, fam. I'm going to Space Force.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'll be chilling in space. I'm like, hey, y'all have fun, right?
That's a good one.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah.
Yo, I
that-
can't wait till Elon Musk gets to Mars, man. I'm gonna go there with him.
Space Force is the dumbest shit I've heard.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Stupidest shit I heard. And it's like, really, like
Bro,
you
they
guys
still-
are
they're
you guys-
going with it.
Yeah, it got approved for funding.
God damn, bro.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's
Those,
like
those are
some
my types of people.
stupidest shit, dude.
Hey, you live in the atmosphere away from all the problems.
Can you
Yeah,
imagine? Like, hey, I'm here for Space Force. I just got recruited.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, just sit down there.
Just sit down and give us 57 years. and
Yeah.
We might have I don't know, a desk for you. Like it's
Exactly.
not, you're not going anywhere, man. We haven't even been back to the moon.
Yeah, that's true. But isn't that sad though, man? Like that whole period where like it was like that Cold War race, to race to make it to the moon. We made it to the moon. We never went further.
That was just a dick. That was a dick measuring contest, man.
Yeah, a fat one.
Yeah,
we
that's
won.
all it
That's
was.
life, baby.
And I mean, yeah, like we did get there first, but like, nah, I mean,
But I mean, some people think.
what happened after that?
Yeah,
like,
we completely stopped the space program after that. Actually, we shut it down.
it's like that's it. Pack it up, boys. We're going home.
Yeah.
That's hella funny. What? I
No,
thought that-
and then Elon Musk came back with like, I'm going to Mars.
there it is. Hey,
Fuck y'all.
You have your Drake. He has Elon.
Hey man, all day,
you,
fam.
you
Listen,
love Elon.
hey man, look, if he makes it to Mars, fam,
He's
You
sucking
going
his
with him?
dick.
it's over.
He's sucking
It's
his
over,
dick.
bro. Like, start a new colony. Fuck the Earth.
Damn.
I'll be at Mars. I'm like, yo, what's up? Fuck Earth.
My boy,
Mars gang. He gonna
my
throw the
boy
M-
be
he
club
gonna throw
hopping
the
out
M-
there.
He gonna come up in
Mars.
with the Martians.
Yeah.
Still getting
I'll be chilling. Man.
Oh man. Hey, so I wanted to talk about vacationing and traveling.
Again?
Okay? Again. But listen, why is it so fucking expensive, bro? Like I've been looking at stuff for us, like
Right.
planning shit, right?
I'm telling you.
I've been through so many websites and so much shit, right? But it's like some stuff doesn't make sense. Like it costs like $700 plane ticket round trip to go to New Orleans, right?
Well,
to go to New Orleans, like it's between $600 and $700. Okay, it costs fucking $500 to go to goddamn Costa Rica.
What?
Hey, can I say something? If Allegiant and Spirit is watching, please sponsor
Man,
us.
hell no, I ain't getting on your plane.
I will get on your plane.
Hell no. Are
I
you
will
kidding
get on that
me?
plane. Put me in the back, homie.
Hell
I will be there.
no. Bro, you've worked on planes, bro.
Yes. Scary as fuck.
Yeah.
But
how
I am
would you-
willing to take the
Oh,
chance with
hell no.
Allegiant just to save some money here.
Nah.
Obviously, we're complaining about the money here.
Man.
So let's just go with Spirit Air. I mean, I heard they have delay problem. I'm cool with that. I want to stay in
So,
Vegas for another.
I'm just saying, like, I have reprioritized. Like, I mean, I don't really care about spending on material stuff anymore, right? I mean, I spent a whole year paying like money
Child support.
for okay, no, thank God, not gonna
Drug money.
Try when you got there.
Honestly, I think my biggest expense last year was cover charges. Was paying bouncers.
How did you write that off?
Hey, my accountant was like, "Yo, what the fuck happened?" He's like, "What is this? What is
Look,
miscellaneous?
Hey, the park we charging.
What is this miscellaneous expense for $27,000, Mister Singh?"
You have no patience.
But like, yeah, I do not wait in line. It's for peasants, just like androids are for peasants.
Couple
True,
minutes.
Androids are for peasants. So yeah, I second
So
that.
I would much rather spend on experiences and traveling, right?
Yeah.
But still, it's like I don't know how these people, like, if you're listening and you know how to travel on the cheap, like get to places and get cheap plane tickets and hotels or whatever,
Hit us up.
Hit us up, man.
Please.
Because I don't know how they do it. Because I be seeing some people travel,
Yeah,
and I'm like, you work at Walmart,
Yeah,
bitch.
that's right.
No, that's true. There's people at Walmart that have better vacations than I ever will.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'm like, where do y'all find the time to take vacation? I can't even find the time.
They didn't approve my vacation time. Well, I don't have that problem. I just approve it myself.
Right.
But, you know,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
shout out. Hey, subtle flex.
Subtle flex.
Humble brag.
Yeah, no, but so they say credit
These pictures
cards.
you denying yourself.
Denied. Hey, yo, my boss said no. I can't make it, babe. I'm so sorry.
So certain credit cards give you perks. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they like if you have a certain amount of points, you get free plane tickets. So that's a huge plus.
But is there ever a win-win with the credit cards?
Yeah, I think if
There's
you're
certain ones.
if you're fiscally responsible and you know, like, don't rack it up and pay interest and shit, like, you know, you spend and you earn the points. But I mean, how often will you get a free ticket? Maybe once every 2 years, once a year.
Yeah, something
Right?
like that. But it depends on your credit card too, because like
Yeah.
I know there's this one Chase credit card where it gives you crazy bonuses or crazy points, and like just on regular shit. Like, so this is what they would count as travel. Like if you got an Uber, or if you took any type of like travel, like train, plane, car, like anything that has
Horse
to do
carriage.
Yeah, anything. Or even if you got like one of those bikes, the lift bikes, they would count that
yeah.
as travel.
Oh shit.
Right, so you would get double the points. And
What about gas? Does that count towards traveling? No, that just
I don't
counts
know.
towards gas.
Yeah, it's just counts towards
Shit.
gas.
Hey, give me your card. I'm
But
gonna rack
certain
that bitch up.
restaurants, they give you perks, and like, you know, if you go to certain airlines, to give you like lounges and stuff. But the what got me was the fee for that credit card per year was like $450, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I was like, okay, this one you really got to think about.
Yeah. Hey, but if you got good gas perks, let me know, because I'm spending $150 a week on gas right now.
Dang, $150 a
Yeah,
week.
man, because my truck is $100 for the fill up, and the Lexus is $50.
Jesus
Take on
Christ,
both.
man!
And I fill up both once a
Hey,
week.
ask me how much I spent.
I don't want to know, man.
I spent $35.
Bitch, do you have roll up windows? If you don't have roll up windows, I don't want to fucking know.
Listen,
all right?
Hey, do you see the gas difference?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but I mean,
I ran on my side.
Ask me how long.
on his side.
Hey, ask me how long it takes me to put my windows down.
It takes me less than a half a second.
No, it doesn't.
I thought it was a half an hour. Damn.
Actually, mine is faster.
Like straight up.
Hey, speaking of oil and Iran, you know they just recently discovered like 40 billion gallons of oil.
In Iran?
Yeah.
What
What a
don't
coincidence.
tell me.
What a coincidence,
But-
baby.
This
But
shit
didn't the
is deep.
sales go down because of this situation? Like, I know, like, other countries
There
were
are
buying
sanctions
oil.
on Iran. The U.S. has placed sanctions on them for a while.
Yeah, well,
Right.
they were getting
Yeah.
tired of that.
Yeah, so you can't. Any
Man,
company that does business
hate
with them
those.
is like they cannot do any business with any U.S. company and stuff like that.
Yeah, but there were still people. There were still countries buying oil from them.
I'm just saying, man. Like,
But now they're not.
Is it a
Not as much.
coincidence that, you know, they just found 40 billion gallons of oil?
And then all of a sudden we want to attack.
All of a sudden we want to.
All of a sudden it's like, hey, kid.
And all of a sudden we want to get hostile.
Yeah.
Hey,
President Trump out here telling us.
Empty your pockets. What you got?
It's like Vivo finding a new Rolex, and you know, we're like, hey man,
What's up, kid?
What I'm wearing right now.
Guys, look, I got a Christmas present. No.
And we're like,
We
you
got a
don't
Christmas
say.
present.
You're right. Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
I just read that in the news, and I was just like, oh,
Bad.
it's getting interesting, you know, it's getting interesting. And then there was like,
We're some bullies, bro.
we
some
are,
fucking
we are.
bullies, bro.
If we was on the playground, we'd be punking people, bitch ass man. Give me
Yeah.
that Westman.
So there was this. I was watching this show, the infographic show, and they were comparing our military versus Iran's military.
Yeah, I sent that to you.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, you did.
Like, man,
Amon did send that in the group chat.
You know I said
Amon
that.
sent it.
there was no comparison. We spend way too much,
Bro,
on everything.
Wasn't like
It's
800,
wild.
600 and...
Billion, we're in the billions, almost trillions of dollars.
We're like, okay, if I could put it into like sports terms, the U.S. is Real Madrid, okay, and then every other country in the world, the one who spends the next most amount of money on their military is like the San Jose Earthquakes. Like there's Real Madrid's payroll is U.S. military budget, and then San Jose Earthquake payroll is the number second is the second place's military budget. We spend probably 10 times more than we ever
Did you
should.
see? Did you see the highest military? It was like Navy, and then the Air Force was like the second highest they pay. Shout out to Air Force.
So our
Air
defense
Force.
budget is $500 billion.
I thought it was more.
A little bit above that.
It's like 680 billion.
Yeah,
or something.
600. Almost
A little above that, huh?
Yeah,
A little 180 billion.
So a little under $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Damn.
So that's
Damn.
yeah. a
Hell
little
of money.
under
God
$1 trillion.
damn.
I should have joined the military. You all fucked up.
But they're saying most of the budget goes to maintenance of the shit that we have that we don't use.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I don't think it would really boost the economy because the shit's already made.
But no, the way it works is when the budget, there's a budget, but every year there's still what we're trying to do is save money, and then whoever saves the most money. No, I swear to God, because we
Bitch.
always have leftovers. Because it goes to constructions, it goes to
Bitch.
planes.
Hey, imagine if we took all that money and put it into our economy. Huh?
There it is. No, we
Get the fuck out of here.
really
It's trying
do.
the military trying to save money? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. That's me trying to lose weight. Get the fuck out of here. All right? Get
Okay,
out of here,
well,
bro.
Clearly, there's. Hey,
I don't wanna hear it.
Look,
Clearly there's
all
some
I'm saying
downside.
is, if we took that budget, chopped it in half, and fed it into our economy, our
Middle
school
class,
system,
yeah.
Man, honestly, everything,
we have
healthcare, school, all that.
We like Canada, we just chilling.
Yeah. You know what? Like the craziest thing
just
to
like
me,
power.
like the craziest thing to me is that like our public education system,
Horrible.
like that too, but like the basic necessity in life is food, right? Like there's kids who like cannot afford to eat and they have like debt at the school. Like people are paying off like thousands of dollars in like school lunch debt because they haven't had enough money to pay for school lunch. And it's like lunch isn't even provided for free at school. Like that's how little money we give to education.
you know
That's
the
just
way-
wild to me, dude.
You know how
That's
how
insane.
I see this? It's like one of those mobile games, right? You're creating your own empire, and you're just
oh,
getting
build
the
a city?
okay.
Yeah, build a city. That's just what America's doing, man.
Yeah.
It's all defense budget, like the biggest like guns.
Big old
Your people
cannons.
are dying. Okay, but how many fighter jets do I have?
Did you get attacked though? It's like
Yeah, exactly. But
did
ain't
you-
nobody invading us. Okay.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, well, it's I don't know, man. I think it's counterintuitive. Like we keep like thinking about this impending doom from this like fight or this attack or this war, but we're slowly being killed anyways through all like poverty and lack of resources and healthcare and fucking I don't know, man.
internally we're killing each
being
other.
Yeah.
uneducated is dangerous too, man.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
you're just a stupid motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
happening
Just
right
doing
now.
stupid shit.
Hey, but think about it. Look, Finland's killing their shit. They're actually doing good.
Oh yeah.
good. Finland, South Korea.
Singapore is living the life. They're rich as hell, and all of them are smart. Like I think I read some statistic that they're saying like 80% of their population is educated with a degree, and I was like 80%. That is Singapore.
Singapore, god damn.
And I was like, that is insane.
And they also park backwards, all of them.
Really?
Yeah, somehow they save.
Wait, how does that make them smarter?
Because it's like
We're talking about positive things.
no, it actually does.
How is this positive?
Yeah, it's somehow it makes it like it flows. The traffic flow is really better, and like the parking is better. And if you park backwards, it's easier to get in and get out. There's less accidents and like bumps or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, so
Wow.
America's beefing up their defense budget while everyone else is like, he's like, yeah,
We're happy, bro. Singapore's happy.
Yeah, why
Yo,
can't we be
Finland's mad
happy?
happy.
We get like anxiety attacks when your cousin's out there in Iraq. You're like, fuck, man. What are we doing there, man?
Shit, I don't. No, like I mean, I'm happy in America, but I think that I'm happy because I take advantage of what America is like the most well known for, which is a land of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like come in, make a name for yourself, make money, like, you know, build something and stuff like that. Obviously, like if you're stuck at like a entry level, like minimum wage or close to minimum wage job for your whole life, and you're just getting by, you're scraping by, you're not gonna be happy in this country. But you know, if you have enough opportunities and you're blessed enough and you make it, you will be happy in this country. But yeah, I think if you're gonna be a 9 to 5er, you got to go to a place like Finland or Singapore.
Yeah, no, I feel that too. But the thing is, like, I feel like over here, it's man, like
The rich gets richer.
the rich gets richer, but it also depends on like, you know, like how you're raised and like, you know, how bad you want it. You know what I mean? Because like I've seen people come here with like dirt poor, nothing, and like they're rich as hell right now.
I mean, I've seen people that were born here and then
they're-
they
they're-
just cool with where they're at.
Yeah, they're poorer than, you know, they're poorer than poor over here. It's like how'd you miss?
But in 1950s, like they had good pay. You know, a meat butcher or a 9 to 5 jobs. Like one person could afford for the whole family.
Yeah, that's
Then
not
eventually,
the case
when
anymore.
the corporations start paying themselves more, they lower the some money they cut money for all the people that are doing 9 to 5. Then two household members had to pay work to keep that family stable.
Now it's a full household.
Now it's a full house. Everyone's working, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, costs have risen tenfold, but like wages have risen, I think, only like double on average or something like that, you know? So, yeah, it's definitely out of proportion, but I don't know. We also, it's like if I think about it, yes, it's an uphill battle, but sometimes I feel like Americans are also trying to climb that hill with like hella baggage because they aren't financially literate and they have bad spending habits and they don't really like take the time to educate themselves and, you know, do a lot of stuff like, you know, I mean, they don't plan for retirement or plan for savings or any of that stuff. So I think that's extra baggage while you're already climbing up a hill. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
You know what I feel like a lot of it is because, like, you know, everyone has the opportunity to make a lot of money, right?
True.
But where I feel like a lot of people get caught up is trying to beat the Joneses. You know, it's like oh, this person got this, so I'm gonna go get that, even though I can't afford that.
Yeah,
like
yeah, true.
and I feel like that becomes like a cyclical cycle where they are just playing an endless game of like, you know, I got this, you got this, who got the bigger stick? I got the bigger stick, you know, and
I got the
and no one's
magic
actually
stick.
winning, and then the person that's actually winning is the one that's not comparing themselves.
Yeah, true. It's the ones who move quietly, silently, in the shadows.
Damn.
Ninja assassin.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. All this war made me want to play Risk.
Risk?
Yeah.
Risk. Hey, it's a war game. It's hella fun.
You never played Risk?
I've never played Risk.
man, we gotta get it.
It's a good
yeah.
time.
Yeah. I
It's a good
just
time.
got introduced to What Do You Meme. That was the first time I
Oh,
ever
we got
played.
introduced to that. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a good game.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a good
You
game.
guys definitely need to check out What You Meme.
No,
What do you
it's
mean?
it's
What do you
what
mean?
it's
What
what
do
do
you
you
meme?
meme? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really
a good game.
It's a fun game.
Man, I mean, back to the travel thing though, I think it's outrageous that, like, because this world is like so fucking beautiful. You know what I mean? It's outrageous that it costs so much to go and like see everything.
I know. I want to know what like the profit is. If you're paying $500, like,
Per like plane ticket and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I don't know. Airlines be raking it in, so I don't
Yeah.
really know. But I mean,
I'm pretty sure they make enough. You know.
Yeah.
Like. It's only 500 tickets per person. So like, if the whole plane is full, man, that's a lot of money.
let's just all
how
get
expensive is
licensed.
jet fuel? You should know this.
No, bro, in the military, buddy.
Oh, everything's free, huh?
No, we just spend, homie.
Just because I thought you were trying to save money.
We
bitch.
save.
I caught you. No, I caught you.
He said we just
on
spend.
camera. No, smile. You're on camera,
I'm okay, the
bitch.
camera.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, I got. Don't say it again, buddy. We try to save money.
Yeah,
here.
we spend money. Fuck your mom too. What you gonna do about it? That's the military mindset, man.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
okay?
is.
I just joke around.
You're always trying to fuck moms. Hey, perfect timing.
Perfect time to end it. What a great cliffhanger, by the way. Tune in for the next episode if you really find out if I'm really fucking
Do
moms.
I really fuck mothers?
Yeah. Am I really attracted to moms?
What's my track record?
Yeah.
Tune in next week to find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
And will people slay more moms?
Dragon Mom Z.
And we'll be back. The mom
Will
slayer.
the budget lever lower for people?
Yo,
Find
hey, yeah, hey, if I'm not back next week, then I enlisted and I'm in Iran.
Listen, you already got the shirt, bro. You good. You camouflage. I can't see you.
I'll be back next week 'cause
Yeah.
I ain't going nowhere, fam.
Honestly,
I'm ducking the draft.
Amon's gonna be the only one podcasting. Hey, this is gonna turn into like a resistance podcast.
Fight the army! Fight the power!
Peace, man. This is how hippies started.
Oh yeah, that's him.
Oh shit. Hey, comment, subscribe. Let us know if there's anything specific you want us to give our opinions on.
Yeah.
You know, and if you want to join us, you know, please come through, join us. Don't text us at 8:30 that you can't make it when you're supposed
There
to be
it
here
is.
at 8.
Shout out.
But you
Shout
know,
out.
yeah, shout out. You know who you are. But yeah, I mean, anybody's welcome to come join us our podcast and you know give their thoughts and just chop it up with us.
Also, comment down below if you think we're going to World War III.
Yeah. Oh, follow our Pornhub 3DropOuts.
3DropOuts.
It's a play on 3DropOuts.
Yeah.
We're there, baby.
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Just,
All right, hey, we'll see you soon.
all right. Late.